Welcome to the Women in Leadership Body, Mind, Soul, and Business podcast. I'm Charlie.
And I'm Heather. And together we are working to connect women in leadership and business, empowering each other, improving the health and wellness of our community, body, soul, and mind, connecting to the heart and soul of who we are and what we do.
Francine is here with us today in my home.
Studio, air quotes.
And we're just
We're going to dive in. So if you don't know her already, shame on you. No, no, we're not shaming people, but you can definitely go back and check her out. She's been on our podcast several times. And so why don't you do a quick intro?
So I'm Francine Hatley. I am a psychic medium and a Reiki master. So I work all in energy. It's all energy work. I was born a psychic medium, and then I was naturally doing energy healings before I knew what it was and before I knew what Reiki was. So that's me in a nutshell.
Yeah. So if you have questions about what any of that is, she has it all over her social media. You can go check it out.
One of the biggest things that you keep getting asked that keeps coming up for you is, how do I know you're real? How do I know that this isn't,
some trick?
Fake? Yeah. Or how do I tell the difference between a real
psychic medium
and a fake?
Right. So that's a really good question. So, when I see a client, I ask them to not tell me any information. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to know anything about what's going on in your life right now. I don't want to know anything about your ancestors, any of your friends, nothing. I don't want names, no information at all. Same thing when I go to a house to investigate what's going on at your house. You may have bumps and noises going on in your house and you want me to come over and check it out. Well, I'm going to tell you whether it's paranormal or it's just some rat that got into your crawl space. So with me, the way that you would know that I'm the real deal is I come up with names and dates of people that you haven't told me about. When you book an appointment with me, even if you want to send me a friend request on Facebook or you want to connect with me on Instant Messenger, I'm not going to friend you until after the appointment, because then I would have access to all of your information. I would know who your friends are. I would know if you're recently mourning the loss of somebody or an anniversary of the death of somebody. And so that's all information that's out there on the big wide web. So if you're going to a medium specifically to talk to somebody about, a loved one who's passed or trying to communicate to that loved one, if you let that medium check you out on social media, you're like, yeah, this is my Instagram name, or yeah, this is my Facebook page or whatever, they're going to go check you out, right? They're going to go see. And so
they're going to glean information so they sound authentic.
Exactly. So I don't do that. A lot of times when I get somebody, when they've submitted a form to me on through Square, through my website, I don't get their last name. I'll like, what's your first name? Let's get you booked in there. Or if they do give me their last name, I don't go look you up. I'm not going to check you out. I'm not going to do any of that.
When do you have time?
I never have time to do that. I don't have time to do my own social media and be on Facebook all the time. That's what these guys are for. So if you think I have time to go look you up, oh, sweetheart. No, I don't.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Another way you can tell someone if they're a fake or a scammer is they're going to tell you what's wrong with you. And then I can fix that. And it's only going to cost you $39.99 or, $5,000. $5,000 seems to be a real good round number. You'll get that a lot, right? Oh, for only $5,000, I can heal this and this and this and this and take care of this and banish this and get rid of this curse off of you, right?
Well, that just sounds overwhelming. And then I'm like, oh, I'm cursed?
Yeah.
I'm terrified now, right?
Yeah, they do that. They prey on your fear. They tell you, they tell you, yeah, you've got a curse attached to you, or, the string of bad luck that you've been having because they've asked you leading questions and you've answered them. So then they go, aha, Well, all the string of bad luck that you're having, well, it's because you were cursed. And you were cursed down your family lineage. So it's not even you recently, it was like your past. And then you start going, yeah, when I was 12, I tripped all the time. Probably because your feet are too big for your body still. But, doesn't matter. You're now associating it with, oh my God, I'm cursed, right? Well, they'll either say, oh, over a series of visits, which will end up costing an enormous amount of money, but you don't think about it because it's broken up over a series of visits. Or they'll get you so freaked out, they'll say, oh, well, that's only going to be $7,500 today. I'm running a special this week, right? Instead of 10 grand, it's only this, right? So they're going to tell you what's wrong. They're going to tell you you're cursed or you're broken or whatever, but they can fix it, but it's only going to cost you. And be careful because it could cost you your life savings. So,
wow. Yeah. And I know that you've seen it happen.
I have. I've seen it happen. I've had people that I know that are doing that type of thing. And it bothers me. And I won't name names and I'm not going to call anybody out because, karma comes back to you and it's a bitch. But I just want people to be careful, especially in this day and age on social media, right? We're seeing a lot of ugly things coming up. We're seeing a lot of, fake and false narratives, conspiracy theories, and things like that. And while some of it, is food for thought, and you kind of go, oh, some of it really is meant to pull you in and get you hooked and get you scared. And then they're going to tell you, but I can fix it, right? If we do, 3 or 4 different series of, this kind of healing and this kind of healing and this kind of healing, then you'll be cured. And it's going to cost you this amount, right? Well, they've gained your trust maybe by a small amount. You do start feeling better, and then they start adding more onto it. Oh, at this session, I found this. And so, well, it's a little bit more expensive. So now we got to, pay a little bit more for this service, right? So they're going to slowly, reel you in until all of a sudden, before you know it, oh, I trust this person. They say I've got 4 or 5 demons that are attached to me and I'm cursed from this. And, I just have to come up with $35,000 to fix it all. And then I'm good. But that doesn't include the 10 or 15 you've already paid them over, how many years. A lot of these people will prey on, people posting, I've been sick recently, or I've had, this issue or whatever, or they'll prey on elderly, they'll gain their trust. They'll, give them information because they've looked them up. They've been able to, maybe they know a friend of a friend of a friend. And so they're getting some type of information from somewhere and they're using that. And because you think you didn't tell them anything, right? You believe them, hook, line, and sinker.
So what are, other than these little red flags that you've said, they keep adding more services that cost more money. They have the solution to your problem, and for whatever, you can be cured, and other things that come up. How do you recognize right away? How do you specifically recognize right away whether somebody is telling you the truth or not?
Well, for instance, that came up a couple months ago now, I think. Someone had reached out to me, someone that I've known on and off for a number of years. And this person commented on a post that I had written. And this person was really nice, in the post, and then privately sent me this instant message. And it was why everything I had was wrong, was connected to demons, and how Satan had kept me from seeing the truth and having this person help me, and that this person had all the answers and all I had to do was go to this person for this series of healings. And I kept waiting for the bottom line to drop of how much it was going to cost me. And I know I don't have a demon attached to me. And I know that,
I was like,
Satan didn't
who
keep me
tells
from.
you these things,
Yeah.
right? Hello.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, no, I don't think so. And that's the thing, is that if everybody has bad luck once in a while, it's not because you have a demon attached to you. Well, I mean, you might, but I mean, there are going to be other things. There's going to be other things, other symptoms in your life that could potentially be something like that. But if someone is sitting there telling you, oh, you have this attached to you, but don't worry, I have all the answers, but it's going to cost you X number of dollars for me and so many sessions to clear it, I would really think long and hard about, is this really what this person can do? Just so you know, when I know that someone has a demon attached to them, I don't charge you money to clear it from you. I can take care of it. If it's in your home, on your property, I work with you and I lower my prices when it's applicable. And there are times when I will do it for free, especially if children are involved, because children are innocent and we don't want them to get hurt, right? Somebody who's a true scammer is going to absolutely insist, well, if you make 4 equal payments, or, hey, do you got a CD you can cash in? Can you have friends and family? How about a GoFundMe? And then I'll come over and I'll help you with that. They'll make suggestions for how you can make those payments to them,
because this is your life's work. This isn't just, I'm doing this because I need to make money. Right. You're doing this because this is what you are here to do.
This is what my calling is. I am called here to help heal people. I'm called here to help rid them of negative energies and get rid of negative energies, demons and whatnot, from people and from the land, the property and houses and things. And so, well, yes, I charge. I also recognize that I'll work with you. And sometimes, depending on the situation, we can barter, or it's free of cost, depending on, like I said, what the situation is. It is a business though. So there are clients out there who can't afford to pay for my services, but guess what? I don't charge $5,000, right? I don't even charge $500. So, well, I mean, I do, but that's only if I had to go back for a series of, it's usually for more than one cleansing. There are a few people that fall in that category. You know who you are.
I mean, because it's also too, like, what are you doing in your own life to bring these things into you?
And that's exactly it. If you're doing things, I mean, if you're out there and you're, doing black magic or whatever, you're probably going to, odds are, you're going to attract negative energy. If you're playing with it, you're going to attract it.
Yeah, leave the Ouija boards alone.
Right? Please. Yeah. But if you're like, clumsy and you fall a lot, or maybe you've got balance issues, as an older, adult, a lot of older adults start having problem issues for one reason or another. Doesn't mean you're cursed. It doesn't mean you got something negative attached to you, right?
Seems
it
really
means you're
awful
clumsy
to prey on elderly who are naturally degrading in this way, right? Like it's already hard on them that they fall. It's already disrupting. It's already caused an issue for them. And then it's just like pinpointing that little that little thing so I can get in.
Yeah. Well, and think about it. They'll do that. It's not just elderly. They'll do that for anybody. If they see someone who looks like they're down on their luck, right?
So what you're saying is, like demons, they prey on fear and doubt.
They prey on fear and doubt.
Wow.
Yeah. And like demons, they create it as well. Right. So be careful, because, maybe it's these people that actually have the demonic, possessions and whatnot, right? And they're just calling the kettle black.
Now, can we talk for a minute on how you approach the conversation when somebody says that what you do is, talking to demons and all that? Because I have experienced what you do, and that's totally not the case.
Right. So that's true. There are some groups out there who say that spiritual mediums, psychics are not of God, that they are basically, demons themselves, or, they have Satan on their side, right?
Or they're practicing something that is not of God.
Correct. Yes. And really, everything that I do is for love, with love, and because of love. And believe it or not, when I'm doing a healing, whether I'm healing somebody or I'm removing something negative attached from them, I am using love, and I'm calling in God, and I'm calling in angels, and I'm calling in Jesus, right? So I do prayers. I was raised Catholic, and I do prayers when I go and I bless a house, especially if there's something that's negative there, right? I'm calling for backup, right? And if I had demons attached to me, or if I was not of God, I'd be, having some issues saying prayers. I'd be having some issues, calling in God and calling in positivity and love and light, right? So I'm not. And psychics and mediums, we're not, of Satan. We are of God. It's through God that I have my gifts. And let's remember, there are a lot of other prophets out there, saints. One of them that comes to mind, and I actually did a paper on him, is called Padre Pio. Padre Pio was a Capuchin monk, and he actually could biolocate. He talked to demons on a regular basis. He fought demons every night because he was absolute love and God. And he was being challenged. He also had stigmata. And people who would think that he was not of God would probably, if they just saw this person out on the street and he's, yelling at demons, or, he's one place and then you see him somewhere else a few minutes later, and he didn't walk faster than you, you would probably think that he was, not of God. But this man was. He was a monk. He lived his entire life in prayer, gave up all his worldly possession, all of those things. He truly carried God in his heart. And these things were real, and it would be, calling somebody like that not of God is laughable. It's laughable. And knowing that other people have these types of gifts, very similar to my own, that were, people of the cloth, I can just simply, say, well, what about this person? And what about this Mother Teresa? After she'd been gone for only a certain amount of time, all these miracles were happening because people were calling on Mother Teresa, right? Were those people crazy? Right? Were those people demonically possessed? Or were they truly having an absolute spiritual, next to God, type, miracle and happening?
Well, and another way you can think of this is when you're doing Reiki, it's healing with or without touch.
Yeah. Sometimes I touch them, sometimes I don't.
Right.
It depends.
But Jesus did the same thing.
He did.
Right?
Yes.
He did the same thing.
He did the same thing. Yes. Jesus was a Reiki master. If you think about it, he healed through energy, right? He healed through God. That's where Reiki energy comes from. If you're more scientifically oriented, right, we all have energy in our bodies. There's energy all around us. We know energy doesn't go away. It's always there, right? And so we're all connected to this universal energy, right? That universal energy is God. Whatever you want to call God, whatever your vocabulary is for God, your word for God. That's what it is. And that's what all Reiki practitioners and Reiki masters call on. You call on that universal energy. Every single time I do Reiki, I'm calling on God.
Boom.
Boom. Mic drop.
I think we debunked a lot of myths about Reiki today, and how to know what is a real and what is not.
Right.
when
And I
you're
think,
looking for
too, it
to
goes
work with.
along with, we've been working on knowing how to trust ourselves.
Mhm.
We've talked a lot about that, of putting
Mhm.
our hand on our chest and feeling what we feel
Mhm.
and trusting that. So I can tell you that I know Francine is legit,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and that feels really good in my body, right?
Mhm.
Right.
So when you will know,
Mm-hmm.
and we will have to learn to trust that.
Mhm.
Right.
So if more of us are trusting ourselves,
Mhm.
more of us are standing up in who we are as
Mhm.
a human, as a
Right.
human being,
Right.
then we're going to be able to see
Mm-hmm.
the false.
Right.
Yeah.
And we could,
Exactly.
when it comes to energy, that
Mhm.
universal energy, we could feel the energy from other people and we instantly get good vibes or bad vibes or
Yep.
I don't know kind of vibes. Listen to those.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you're getting that little voice in your head, just kind of questioning, oh, is this what this person's saying real?
Mhm.
Should I really be listening to this?
Mhm.
If you're thinking that, then the answer is probably no. And you should probably just, okay, still be polite, right? Thank you, but no thank you. And just end the conversation, walk away, close them out of your Facebook
Mhm.
chat, whatever.
Mhm.
You need to,
You can block people.
you can block people.
And you can make, when you block somebody, it makes it so they can't see you too.
Yes.
So that's one way to get rid of yucky people. I know, like, as I grew, my Facebook following started to grow, I would get more creepy dudes,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So I learned
We
real
all
quick,
have those, yeah.
it's okay to block. And I,
Mhm.
99.999% of the time, I don't friend a dude.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, if I haven't met you in person, you're not gonna be my friend on
Yeah.
Facebook.
Yeah. And that's the other thing too. If you've got like old posts, like I've had posts from like 2017. I mean, that's what, 5 years ago, almost 6 years now.
Mhm.
And all of a sudden some random guy will comment and you're like, I made this post 5 years ago. What the?
Why were you stalking
Yeah.
me?
Why are you looking at this now and then
Mhm.
commenting and asking to be my friend? Right. And the answer is no. Yeah. Just
Yeah.
don't.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. No. No. No.
Okay.
And you're not doing anything harmful to yourself by having a boundary.
Right.
Right.
And I
Right.
think that we forget that it's
Mhm.
okay to have those boundaries.
Right.
Okay to say no.
It's okay to
Yeah.
say
No is a
no.
full sentence.
No is a full sentence. And just remember, if someone is telling you what's wrong with you and then blaming something other than, what your brain is, going to rationalize, I've got a curse on me. What? Got a demon attached to me. What? And that's everything that's wrong with me. So think about that. And they're trying to prey on your fear. So it's what's wrong with you, and they're preying on your fear. And then they're going to say, oh, but it's only going to cost you. Right? Those are 3 red flags, people.
Mhm.
Right? Even if some random person comes up to you on the street, right, and says, oh my God, you've got this attached, blah, 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 right? And they're talking so fast, and then they go, but, I'm having a special today, and if, let's get you on my schedule, and blah, blah, blah. Please don't. Please don't. Just don't. No. If I come up to you on the street and start, telling you, hey, you've got so-and-so that's coming through and they're trying to tell you this, I'm not going to charge you for a reading that's on the spot, right? If I have one of your relatives coming through telling me that I have to go talk to you, and believe me, my husband is extremely patient. This has happened.
Well,
I can't
we
tell
had
you
that happen.
how many times. Yeah, how many times I've been somewhere and all of a sudden I get basically a tap, on my shoulder. Hey, Francine, this person over here needs to hear from me. You need to go talk to them. Yeah, I'm not charging money for that, people. Right? I'm not going to scam you. I don't know who the hell you are. And quite frankly, I'll forget 10 minutes after the reading. Trust me, I do. I always do, because the message isn't for me. So I'm going to go over there and I'm going to tell you what the message is. And then I'm moving on with my day. I'm not going to say, oh, by the way, you owe me $200. It's not happening. Okay. So think on that.
Nice. Thank you.
Yeah,
Francine, for sharing
absolutely.
some
To
of that.
end on a really weird note, my son and I went on a drive and we had a road rager behind us.
Oh,
And they pulled up alongside of me and yelled, what's wrong with you? And I was like, nothing. So you can get there. Like, you know, like, you don't have to accept it if someone says it.
Exactly. Yeah, that's good.
They should have said that to themselves. What's wrong with you? Yeah. Good.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love that.
Oh, thank you so much for joining us today. And again, thank you to Francine for
Absolutely.
blessing us today with your presence
Mhm.
and teaching us so that we can know better.
Yeah.
And learn and grow together.
Absolutely.
So I believe Susan and Greta probably come home today. So check out their message and we'll see you next time.
Namaste.
Mwah.
So we are Sue and Greta, or our trail names are Lilo and Stitch, and we are hiking the whole Appalachian Trail from Maine to Georgia, so 2,194.3 miles. And we're doing it to raise $50,000 or more
Yes.
for Parkinson's disease research.
Yeah, through the Michael J. Fox Foundation. And we are doing it all in honor of my dad, her husband, who was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease back in 2010. So
Right.
and we all know so many people who are diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, and we are trying to do our small part in the world of Parkinson's disease to find a cure.
Thank you for joining us today on the Women in Leadership Body, Soul, Mind, and Business podcast. Please download the podcast on your favorite podcast player. We love you, and we will see you next time. Namaste.